Hi, this is Prabha from Quests.travel and conversation with CEO of Polo Hotels and Resorts. Hi, how are you doing today?
Very well. How about you?
I'm doing very well too. Are you really excited about today? An exciting day for you today?
Yeah, it's a new chapter in our brand journey.
Yeah.
It's very important to us. We are pleased to be able to share it with them.
Okay, that's amazing. So my first question for you is, the Northeast is often spoken as a high potential hospitality region. From your perspective, what truly sets the Northeast apart and what part does Polo Hotels play in this distinctive landscape?
Sure. So the Northeast, if I had to say the number of things which set us apart, it's just a crazily long list. But if you just want to start with the land, right, just where we're from, it's just an amazing place in terms of the geography, the kind of climate, the kind of stuff that comes out because of the climate, right? The flora, the fauna, the mountains, etc. Everybody says cherry blossoms are in Japan, but Kapishilong is cherry blossoms, right? Kapishilong for the waterfalls, we have such amazing waterfalls that built up right to the world for it. There's so many things you engage with nature. And not just nature, but even a culture of music. The whole Meghalaya is big on music. The whole Nagaland is really big on culture. Hornbill Festival is something which you cannot do anywhere else in your world, literally, right? And you can do it right, head in Nagaland. The part of music, you do it, And you look at the rhinos, you look at the whole part of Assam. Every state of the Northeast is just amazing. And where Polo comes in is, we believe that luxury is what you can do with nature. Anyone can put Italian marble in a closed setting, right? Can you actually have a butler waiting for you at a waterfall? That is luxury. That's where we come in, right? And we do a seamless trip for you all around. Keeping in mind whatever you want to do. And if you have kids, can you have kid-friendly food? If somebody has some particular food, and we get that everywhere. And then we get them to taste the local food, the local wine, everything along with that. That's where Polo comes in. So our job is to enable you to enjoy that train along this.
That's amazing. Since you also spoke about Tata Land, that you have 2 more upcoming properties in Tata at 5-star properties. What is the status update of that? What should we expect?
So fingers crossed, Kohima should open in the next 2 to 3 months. We'll let you know as soon as it opens. Come and try it out. It's an amazing hotel. It's on top of a hill. It's in town, but it's like a resort. So it's going to be really, really cool. And Dinapur should open a little after that. But Kohima is the one that's the most exciting.
Which one do you think is your favorite one? Location.
Too early, Ladana.
Okay. fair enough. Okay. My next question is, as you look at it, do you see a bigger opportunity it's threatening Polo in terms of going across the east and opening adjacent markets as well? Would you want to go beyond the Northeast too?
Yes, absolutely. We want to carry the flavor of Northeast hospitality, but we do. Even if we open in any other pocket, we want to always carry a flavor. We have a hotel in Calcutta, which is only floating hotel. That's a fabulous hotel. But even that has cocktails from Meghalaya. Even that has food from Nagaland. And so on and so forth. So we have to open it here.
What is something significant that you're seeing in shift of in terms of travel demand in the Northeast? Like, what is a major shift that you're seeing in tourist demand in Northeast recently?
That's a very interesting question. The biggest shift which we've seen is the interest which tourists have in trying out local items, whether it's the food or whether it's a drink or whether it's a spa therapy. For instance, our most rated spa therapy in Cherpunji Resort is the Lakadong Turmeric Spa therapy. Because people want to do something which they can't do elsewhere. They want to try that. So there's a gin called the Cherpunji gin. They want to try the Cherpunji gin. Or they want to have the local wine along with our Northeast Pali. And that's what is the big change.
I see. Also, in terms of like a tourist markets coming in, do you see more domestic Indian tourists coming in, or are you seeing more foreign tourists coming in? Like, how does the demographic?
Sure. So I think one thing the government has done really well is increase the number of planes and increase the number of active airports in the Northeast. With that, it's very easy to come there. There's so many airports which are now active in multiple flights from different cities across the country. So that has led to growth in both domestic and international. Because even international tourists, once they land in India, if it's easy to travel to your destination, they're more likely to come.
What do you think is like a distinct difference between a domestic tourist and an international tourist? How do you cater to both of these different sections?
I don't think there is some major difference. It's a lot of individual guests. I think we cannot bucket people by nationality.
Yeah.
All guests are different in terms of what they want.
Right.
And it could be that a domestic traveler and international traveler have the same needs depending on your guest profile. It could be that they have really different needs, but not the way you think. Sometimes we stereotype in our minds, but actually that's not true. Every guest has something. And guests are very well researched, so guests know what they want. And we always call the guests and ask them, what can we do to cater to that one? And that way we can do both.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And next question for you is, as larger national chains, like there are so many players coming in, and there was an architect recently that talked about 70,000 voters being applicant on it. So there's a possibility that more bigger chains are trying to compete. Yes. And how do you see that as a competition, and how do you try to overcome this challenge?
Sure. So we don't look at it as a challenge. We feel that we have a flavor of the Northeast. It's very unique. We are from the Northeast. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily want to be the biggest. We do want to be the best.
Right.
And whether it's best in terms of guest service, whether it's best in the cuisine options we have, or just best in terms of some fun and work, which we can do because we're not subject to a lot of bureaucracy, which say a larger company would have. And our team is also mostly locals. They again have a very deep connection with the land.
Yeah.
So I think that is very difficult with this.
That is okay. My next questions are like the this or that segment.
Sure.
So this is basically to get to know you a bit as well. So my first this or that question would be, could you rather choose like a luxury staycation, or would you rather go on like a rugged adventure trip?
I love traveling, so it could be a rugged adventure trip. But if I could stay at luxury hotels along with the way, that would be possible.
Yeah. This is my next question. I read that you drove across 47 countries once time from Turkey to Nepal. What inspired you to do this, and what would you say was like your favorite memory out of the entire?
So it was really fun because it was my Shillong car in which so it was the first Meghalaya car to cross the Arctic Circle. And then I think the first Meghalaya car in the UK also. We got to drive through a lot of interesting countries. It was just spectacular. I think it was one of those things which you were so glad that you did and you took the time out to do that. It had its own trip challenges that it's not easy driving. I can't drive car up into Europe. But it was fabulous, and what would be my greatest learning is that when you drive through a place, then you get to see how the geography changes rather than just landing into airports, and then it's much more stark. So I always give an example of Ladakh, that if you fly in Ladakh, you must acclimatize in Ladakh. Whereas if you drive to Ladakh, you're already acclimatizing around the way. So in the same way, before we reached the country, we could see the changes and the landscape and whatever to know that there's a country coming, which is really fun.
That's amazing. This brings me to like a completely different question. What do you think is like the best compliment that you have received as being in the hospitality industry? What would you say is like a compliment that still is with you?
I think the greatest fun for me as hotelier is when I see guest comments where the guests are literally blown away by one. They won't have expected in a Tirupati or in a Shillong, and they get it. I think that is something we started for, and they're very happy to keep receiving. So there's we just love it. Every time we see one, it gives us more energy and we are more excited.
Right. So just to one more this or that question, would you rather have a memorable room or a memorable meal?
I'm a hotelier, so for me, it would always be a room.
Okay, perfect. I think that brings us to the end of it. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure.
Yeah, it was great talking to you.
Thank you.